Can you hear it? I'm going to play it just a little bit. I'll turn it almost all the way down. I usually make my videos in the morning, but I'm making this one at night. It is Thursday night, the 20th of December. So I'll put it to upload overnight. We'll see how this goes. Maybe I won't upload it, you know. But I received two records today from L'Amour, from Victor. And he has a label, or he's on a label, or maybe it's his label, L'Amour Records. L'Amour. 50 Shades of L'Amour. He has a thing that he does called Slim Vic. He sent me several of his releases, electronic. These two latest I want to enthuse about. Now, honestly, Victor, I know you'll watch this. This is the best that you've sent me that connects with me, because I do listen to the Slim Vic. I've gone back to it a few times, you know, and the stuff is interesting. It's kind of abstract, but honestly, I haven't had any of those pull me in, you know, where it's like, these two new ones are the best thing I've heard on your label, and I want to recommend these highly. First, I'll talk about Pro 424 Before Immunity. This is a new release on the L'Amour label out of Switzerland. Now, he did send me a one sheet, which I actually just listened and didn't read yet. Since the debut in 2011, the Swedish music project Pro 424 has combined complex modular synth-based sounds with strong melodies. Well, I have to agree. I like this quite a bit. What I found myself doing with both of these two new L'Amour releases, Pro 424, is they burble and bubble along so nicely that the record is over before the sides were over. I'm looking and the sides were ending, and it's like, well, that could keep going. Very much they're in the lineage of Tangerine Dreams, bubbling arpeggio, rhythmic sequencing around the, you know, that they really, put it on the map with albums like Phaedra and Rubicon, that particular era. It bubbles along beautifully. Both sides they're broken up into pieces, but it sounds like it's just moving. It's one continuous move. I want to enthuse about this Pro 424 and these latest releases on L'Amour. This is the best stuff I've heard on this label, L'Amour Records, out of Switzerland. Thank you, Victor, for keeping me on your list. You honor me, and I am really pleased. This is really good. I am not good with best of lists. I've tried in the past. I just know that the Mono Mirage is one of the best things that came out this year. I have a hard time remembering, you know what I'm saying, chronologically. Was it this year? Was it last year? But this definitely is like one of the nicest things, new things that I've heard. Pro 424. Look this up. And L'Amour Records. Now, Victor's project, Slim Vic, is the other thing he sent me, and I'm very honored by this. Victor, thank you so much. He sent me his brand new release. It's collaboration with a fellow by the name of David Lindbergh, and Victor Zeidner as Slim Vic. Okay, Victor Slim Vic. This is called Vid Fronten. And this is gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and endeavor to try to play just the first little bit. It's mostly ambient. It's quiet. Reminds me, doesn't really remind me of, but it's like I'd be thinking, Harold Budd, Roger Eno, okay, but not completely, just in part. I would reference them to call your attention to this. But I put this on, and I just like right away was like, oh yeah, I'm digging this. I'm also, thank you so much, Victor. This is a limited edition of 100 copies numbered, and he sent me number 3. Thank you, Victor. Wow. It's starting up, and I'm going to just let it go, and if I need to turn it up, I will. Yeah. That's beautiful. Oh, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. I talk about how I love beauty. Beauty is probably the thing I'm most interested in music. Beauty. It takes me to what it does for me, what it does for my soul, my body, my ears, the atmosphere. Beauty. I love beauty, and I guess beauty is in the eye of the beholder and in the ear of the behearer. This is so beautiful to me. Victor, thank you so much. I again want to enthuse to you all to be one of the 100, or more likely be one of the 97, because I know that Victor and David have the first 2 copies. I am honored. This is beautiful. L'Amour Records out of Switzerland. And like I said, I've talked about the records before, but this is the best thing I've heard on the label, honestly. I'll go on a bit here. People are so kind to me. I'll just go through the stack. Anita in Poland works at a record plant and is like a long-distance friend, even though we barely talk, but she buys everything that I put out, and she sent me some really nice music. Yeah, I've had to tape these glasses. I just like them. Things get broken, you fix it, and then it kind of means something more. But she sent me this test pressing of Blind Mr. Jones 12-inch, and since I just recently got another printer, I went ahead and found the graphic for it and printed it for the cover. Blind Mr. Jones, a band like Slowdive, definitely in the shoegaze vein. They were young, and you can hear it. They are not that experienced on their instruments, but there's a naive grandeur to a lot of what they do. I still like Blind Mr. Jones quite a bit. I'll talk about this, even though I don't know much about it. One of the record stores that's been gone for a while now is the Antiquarium. And they would get in these dance 12 inches and stuff like that, white labels and stuff with no information. And I got a couple of these from this series Fuck You Very Much. And this is where they do mashups. Okay, so one side of this is Blur versus MIA, Bucky Dun Gun. And the other side is, I didn't listen to it recently, but it's Boys and Girls mixed up with something else. It's entertaining. There's a lot of this on the internet now, and they just, like, I don't even bother anymore. It was kind of novel at first, you know what I mean? Pulled this because I love the Moody Blues, but I have never sat down and listened to this album, ever. This was given to me. The scratchings here are cat damage from a good friend of mine who died of cancer in the year 2000, and he left part of his record collection to me, and the cats destroyed most of his stuff. He had some collectible stuff. But this was a Moody Blues album that I didn't have, so it's been in the collection. But okay, no, I've listened to the fourth side, which is studio. It's 3 sides live and studio. So I'd listened to the studio side to see if there were any good songs, and they're just okay. But I listened to the live sides a night or two ago. And is it the bass player who has the really high voice, or is it Ray Thomas? But those really high, almost embarrassing, banshee-like backing vocals on some of the songs, like Ride My Seesaw, is like, whoa, that's like psychedelic. I love the Moody Blues. And I've seen them live. When I saw them, they made me cry. They were so good. And I was front row center. I forget when it was. It was in the 70s, maybe the 80s. It was that long ago. I don't remember. So I enjoyed this. Nidrolog. This is an English progressive rock band. I think they might have made 2 albums. The information is in here. This is a reissue. They give a lot of liner notes. I read it, but I've forgotten already. Lady Lake. This is really good. It smacks of the first 2 King Crimson albums as far as influences on this. And even the vocals are okay. I pulled this to just play, and it's like, man, this is really good. Probably has to do with that pile of Italian prog CDs I was showing, and I knew it with the Arena Marsupilami. I didn't check that, and sure enough, I kind of thought that it wasn't Italian, but I put it in there. Someone corrected me. I kind of knew it. I knew it, but I forget. Man, I'd love to have all those. At one time, I would have loved to have had all those on vinyl. Just to have them, just to do this, so I could look at it like this, as opposed to like this, That'd make a good album cover, wouldn't it? It's a recent picture that was sent to me by a photographer who photoshopped it up. So I just put some music on it and made a cover. Between ambient, cosmic world music, based out of Germany, I think. I think this is their second album, with Peter Michael Hamel and then Robert Eliscu from the USA, Robert Detrey from Argentina. I've got one of his albums, and Koch Black from USA on percussion. And The Waters Opened. This is pure expression. This is like, put it like this. I think if you were like a child, traveling and gathering experiences, and you encounter this for the first time, mind-blowing. The idea of taking off preconceived expectations, or I only like this, only like that, and listen to this. Oh man, just like the cover. Fantastic. Beautiful. Like this music here in the background, which I'm going to take off just in case. I recently got notice that some of my videos have been blocked because of the music. It's just, that's the law. Okay, so recently I got my house back. I did some gigs. I actually made some money, and I decided that I would do some shopping at Almost Music. I haven't spent hardly any money on records for years. If you wouldn't believe it, how little it is. So I endeavored to shop at Almost Music a few days ago, and I am real happy with everything I found. All used. Well, one was sealed, but it was in the used section. Owen Mayerx, he was, I guess he was in the Baja Marimba band. He was in MX80 Sound and another band that I don't know about. He's on Facebook, and we are friends, and we're members of the You Spin Me. There's several vinyl groups that are private or secret, and this is one of them. You Spin Me is one, and he's a member too. Very interesting man. He put this record out. It's a very interesting story because this originally was only a promo. They made 300 copies and they didn't sell it. They just sent it out to record labels, etc. And it became collectible partially because, well, it's good. It's eclectic. It's indie pop mixed with really cool guitar and open-ended compositions. Okay, it's a mixture of. I don't want to overuse the word experimental, but you'll know what I mean when I say that. The originals are very collectible, and you don't see them. So when I saw this, at first I wasn't so sure, even though I am familiar with Owen online. We don't talk, but we're in the same group. And then I spoke to Brad, who runs Almost Music, and said, well, what do you think about this? This is just some indie pop, right? He says, oh, this is really good. Did you notice Henry Kaiser's on guitar on this? And this is the 500 copy edition that's on the colored vinyl. Henry Kaiser's on here. That's the other name I recognize, although John Oswald also was on here. So this is pretty cool. I'm glad that I bought it, and I'm happy to say I do actually like it. Owen Mayerx, Teenage Sex Therapist. Came out, it doesn't say on here, it's late 70s, early 80s. So I got that. Here's some more records I was just playing. I'll show those since I plan to let this upload overnight. I'll make a longer video. Long videos take hours. Those 10-minute videos that I make for you on my server, it takes an hour and a half to upload a 10-minute fucking video. Don't ask me to troubleshoot, all right? I picked this up because I've always wanted it. It's one of those collectible English UK psych freakbeat albums. They had one hit, Magic Potion, which is not on here. This is a reissue on, is it Sunbeam? Now, it's listed as being the bonus tracks, but those bonus tracks aren't on the vinyl. They're apparently on the CD. Magic Potion is their best song. The story inside of here is interesting because it talks about how people start in bands and they move on, and how these guys got seen by Paul McCartney when he was really drunk in the early days, and they asked him, what do you think? And he told them, you guys are shit. And Magic Potion is their best song. I always wanted this album. It's one of those records that is pricey. It's interesting that some of the most pricey collectible records are not good musically. This band is just average. I'm going to keep this, but it's like this doesn't compare to the good shit. Like Tangerine Dream Kaleidoscope or Skip Bifferty. That's one I would really like to get. Wimple Winch, I don't have that. I just have some songs. But I've been wanting that Open Mind for a long time because of the song Magic Potion, which I do have in my archives on the computer somewhere on CD. So, but it was a disappointment. And I played it a couple times now, and it's like, this isn't very good. This next one, though, I was blown away to finally get a Taj Mahal Travelers album. This is a reissue. This is a legendary Japanese cosmic music band. But really, the music was based not on space, but on nature, as it turns out. The story, the leader of the band, Takahisa Kosugi is his name, recently passed away. Pioneer in avant-garde, I'll use that term here. This is amazing. And it makes sense that I didn't get this sooner in my life, because I would not have gotten it. Probably in the last 10, 15 years I would have gotten it. If I'd gotten this earlier, I would have said, this is junk. You have to let it happen. This is very organic. Man, this is incredible. Double album, taken from performances when they would perform. They would perform to videos of the ocean and things, and they would play for hours. I mean, not 4 hours, 6, 8, 10 hours, okay? And even their concerts would be like that, like installations at museums and stuff. Wow, August 1974. I want to enthuse about this like I did about the Slim Vic's latest one. This is cosmic, but when you read the story and realize it's based on waves, the whole idea of catching the nature of waveforms, the ocean, and light, and the wind, and how things... Okay, are you catching me, people? Yeah, I love music. I love music. It's a lifesaver. This was sealed, but in the used section. So glad I bought this. I think some people just don't get this music. This music is really, really incredible. This is 2 pieces, one by Steve Reich and one by Terry Riley. Piano pieces, piano studies. Repetitive to the point of hypnotism and changing, altering perception in reality. To a person that's not willing to dive in here and just go with this, it'll seem very repetitious, and you'll probably take it off right away. But this, Terry Riley, the genius of these guys, Steve Reich and Terry Riley, is, thankfully it's been well documented. Terry Riley's in C, and the other one's a Rainbow and Curved Air. I have them. The pianists are, Hausch is one of them. Hauschka is a name that maybe some of you folks might know. Hauschka. And these are the other folks. Wonderful, wonderful. Has nothing to do with rock and roll or the blues. This is music to me that is, it's just like, I need it. It's like, it just really just opens my mind and my life. Fantastic stuff. I'm glad I'm speaking to you. You know, my enthusiasm, I'm not even drinking coffee. It's just the natural mania I feel, or the energy I feel from the arts. And I think I got 2 more. Again, another one I was blown away that this was in the used section. Peter Brotzman with Jason Adasiewicz. Duets. Molly's in the Mood. Amazing artwork that totally fits. If you know Peter Brotzman, the saxophone player who his doctor has told him years ago, you need to stop playing, you have destroyed your lungs. He blows so hard that he's blown his lungs almost inside out. When you hear him play, if you've never heard him play, find out about Peter Brotzman. You folks that do know who Peter Brotzman know what I'm talking about. Machine Gun is one of those legendary albums I only have on CD. It's one of those albums that collectors, it's like it's a grail album. I've been after it. I've never seen a copy. Really intense, really intense. Vibraphone, saxophone, B-flat clarinet, and tarogato, whatever that instrument is. 2 more. Oh, actually 3 more. Yeah. Yeah, it felt really good to actually shop and buy some records for the first time in a long time. Yeah. People don't know. People don't know what my life is. We don't know what we go through. We don't know what each other goes through. I've had some cruel motherfuckers step to me in here, don't know shit about my life. How hard it has been sometimes. Finally, I get to buy some fucking records. So, some of you people, that last little bit, you'll be wondering, whoa, what happened? Good. People need to be real, okay? I'm just being real, okay? This, I took a chance on. I knew it could be kind of bogus, but several things about it made me say, I can't leave it. It's a French import on Vogue, which is just a household label over in France. But when I looked at the back, I said, even if this is pop, that picture, I bet this music is good. And I was right. Louise Forestier, turns out she was an actress as well as kind of a pop singer. Not a very good singer, okay? However, the arrangements on here, like François Hardy, kind of like that, only she actually has something. The power of this is in the band and the arrangements. It's not psych, it's whimsical, it's French pop. I don't know the right word, but it's like, when I'm listening to this, I'm not listening to American music, and I love it. I love it. So, this was a pleasant surprise, though, like I said. It's on the light side of pop, and she's not much of a singer. This was in the half price bin, so I got it for $4. It's a 10-inch picture disc. Both sides are the same thing by avant-garde artist David Jackman. And this is the sound of apparently some kind of installation. When I first put it on, I was thinking to myself, oh shit, what did I do? And then I came back and played it at the right speed, and it's like, oh man, wow. This is like, I don't know what he's using, but it's like the sound of when I used to play with rubber bands as a little boy, you know. We would like to try to make guitars, but then you would, as a kid, me and maybe some of you all, would be intrigued by sound and rubber bands, tight, loose, and you play with the vibration. That's what this is, but on a noise level, and it's like, whoa, it really is engaging. It's noise, though. It's not music, it's noise. And the last thing I got, which, glad that I got this, Alexander von Schlippenbach. I recently just talked about him, I think, no, that's Manfred Shoop. But Manfred Shoop has played with Schlippenbach. The Schlippenbach Trio, first recordings. This was recently put out on vinyl by Trost Records, but recorded in 1972. And this is wonderful. I haven't listened to this enough to try to really describe what it is about the way that he allows the music, and it really is very musical. And these two guys that play with him, thankfully they wait a while before they come in, because it's like you have to kind of, this is deep. It's killer. He's letting the music come through him, and it's like things are happening beyond what he knows he's doing. I mean, this is really, really good. I was really happy, and I felt like I'll get these feelings. It's like I would buy records all the time if I could, But I've had this feeling many times where, and when I was able to get on it, it felt right. It's like there's something at the record store for me. And that's not always true here in Omaha because of my taste. There's been a lot of periods where when I had money, it was dry. It was just, I couldn't get nothing. But I had the feeling that there's stuff at Almost Music, it's about to close. But I said, there's something for me there. And it sure was. I'm glad I went. So those are happy additions to the collection. The other records sitting here that I'll tell you that I recently played, again, betray my true nature, which is Canterbury is my ground zero. As much as the Beatles, Chuck Berry and Little Richard, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, the Beatles, the next big epiphany was actually Canterbury. Genesis came after this. This is Soft Machine's first album. It's original U.S. copy with the die-cut cover and the wheel inside that spins and you spin it. Everybody likes to spin it so you can see the girl's butt. So I kind of sometimes will spin it just so you don't see the butt, but there it is. Robert Wyatt, yes, people. But yes, Shoop Hopper, too. Yes, Mike Ratledge. And as I was digging on this Wildflowers, yes, Hugh Hopper's brother, Brian Hopper. Very important to the beginnings of this music. Love this album, and as old as this is, this got played both sides because it's like, there's a reason why this music means what it is. It's like, these guys were busting open doors. No one else sounded like this. This was a whole new thing. No one else was sounding like this. And that's why I have so much respect and regard for the musicians worldwide who followed in their footsteps as opposed to just doing the usual Led Zeppelin shit, which I do like Led Zeppelin. But you hear what I'm saying? It needs to be said because too many people are caught up in the mainstream and haven't heard anything. I could just go on, probably piss people off. But it's like, if the main thing is Rolling Stone magazine, get the fuck out in the world and find out something. David Sylvian and Robert Fripp. This is basically an album. Darshan. Both sides are very long. The Future Sound of London remix on this, is that who it is? Is just to die for. It sounds like that graphic. Of course, I love the work of Robert Fripp and David Sylvian. White Door. This is a synth pop record from the 80s. Somehow I found out about this and bought it at the time. I love this. Hadn't played this in decades. It's still really, really good. Real pop. They don't sound like Tears for Fears, but I'm thinking if you would like that, you might... No, this is just really good. Synth pop. Turns out this was a side project of two of the members who had another band that I wasn't familiar with. This is really good. White Door. Windows. I think from the Netherlands, Mini Pops, Fourth Floor. This is my shit, y'all. Angular, kind of dry. I have no idea what they're saying, and that's good. It's just this strange place. We're on the fourth floor with Mini Pops. Last thing I played, and I'll take it out because this the plastic is got something on it. But hadn't played this in a long time. Zakir Hussain with John McLaughlin and these other musicians making music on the ECM label. Zakir Hussain is a what do you call prodigy, or he's like he is like one of the best in the world living on tablas. Been playing them since he was a kid. Did the thing with John McLaughlin called Shakti. Of course, he was doing stuff before that in rock and roll. This is really beautiful, really beautiful. It's not jazz. It's not jazz. It's just But what's nice is that they're not trying to chase an Eastern scale so much as just creating this kind of a new, wonderful sound where the rhythm is just awesome. I've seen John McLaughlin twice. I got to see Zakir Hussain once. I got to see him at a really neat place called the Ohm Center here in Omaha. So when he was done, he had a question and answer, and then I just connected with him, and after that was done, he invited me to have dinner with him. I love stuff like that. Okay, this has gone for a long time. The power of music.